side to the other side because it works well with how I stitch, I guess. So what I usually do is I find the middle, so usually you can just fold it like this, and then here's approximately where the middle is. But then instead of just starting here, I will work out where I would want to start. So in this case it's a small pattern, so it's very easy to count. I'll get a needle or a pin, anything will do basically. Just start here. I know my pattern has a size of 22 times 14 stitches, so if this is the middle, we want to count 11 stitches to this side, so alright, just putting one in, and then because there's 14, you want to count 7 stitches down. So this would then be your starting point if your pattern is completely square, which it's not. So I'll just have to check and see how much we have to go up for our first stitch, because actually it starts a bit higher than half, so we'll have to go up 8 in this case. So this is where I'll start my cross stitching for this pattern. Now sometimes even if you're not completely in the middle, because sometimes I miscount or I don't do anything, don't know what I'm doing, it's usually fine as long as there's quite a bit of space left on either side, and then you can still frame your pattern however you want. So this pattern requires we start with green, so I'll get that thread only using one, so this is, not sure if it's focusing. So if you can see, there's multiple threads, usually there's going to be 6. So then what you need to do is just, in this case, just grab one of them and pull it out of the others. Then this one goes into the needle. Just pull it through, sort of making sure that one end is longer than the other end. So a bit like this, so this is the long end, and then here you see the other one. So we can start right here where the needle is. So let's see, I'll just go one next to it, get the needle out, go into the one that I need. So in this case, how I start my cross stitching is I turn it around, and then I'll pull through, but then I will hold the last bit of the thread with my thumb and make sure that it doesn't move. And then I'll go here and I'll start my first stitch. So you just pull through. Sometimes it will get stuck behind this, but you just need to be a bit careful, don't pull too hard. So then this is your first part, half of the stitch. Then you turn around again, and then the part that you're holding with your thumb, you want to make sure that the next part of your stitch goes directly over that part, so you just kind of make sure it's no longer able to move. So one of these is usually not enough to keep it completely stuck, so I usually still keep my thumb on there just in case. And in this case, what you can do if you're just doing one stitch, you go back here and you will finish your stitch. But since in this case we have multiple stitches that are located on top of each other, I will just do half stitches for a bit. So this is then the second half stitch. Then I'll turn around again, make sure that this part is covered completely. And now it's fairly stable and I don't need to hold it anymore, so I can just continue. In this case we have 6 stitches that go up like this, so I'll just do 6 half stitches. And now you don't have to turn anymore, you can just sort of try and find the gap. So sometimes you'll notice, oh, I'm not in the right one, so but then you just move a little bit next to it. It might be a bit difficult to find it in the beginning, but you'll just develop some sort of automatic sense of where you should put your needle. Right, so we have 6 half stitches and then we'll just finish all of them up. So you go in, you just make the other half stitch down. And just make sure that your stitches always go in the same direction. So now that I've started, the bottom part of my stitch is always going in this way, and then the back one, the one that's on top, will always go in this direction, so it will look very neat in the end. And those are our first 6 stitches of the day. So let me know if you have any questions so far. And I hope you'll join me for the next video, where I'll hopefully show you some tricks and how to solve some issues that you can run into when just starting out. See you next time.